So in this class, we are going to look into the concept of a setting. What does setting mean in literature? So in literature, a setting is the time, place, and environment in which the events in the story, poem, or play take place. So a setting is the time, place, and environment in which the events in a story, poem, or a play take place. That's what a setting is. And there are different types of setting. The first is physical setting. So physical setting has to do with the tangible environment in which the story takes place. So looking at a play like Once Upon an Elephant, you have some events taking place in the king's palace. You have some events taking place in Yava's abode. So this is what physical setting means. It refers to the houses, to the rooms, and everywhere events takes place. Physical, tangible places, events take place in the text. Then we have a time or temporal setting. So, and this type of setting refers to the time. It refers to the period, the season, the historical season or historical period in which a story takes place. So, looking at Things Fall Apart, for example, you can say that Things Fall Apart, I think Things Fall Apart took place in pre-colonial Nigeria. And the same thing applies to Once Upon an Elephant too. It takes place in pre-colonial Nigeria because when you look at Once Upon an Elephant, you hardly see Western influences in the text, and the dialogue of the characters is suffused with proverbs, rich Yoruba usage. So you have a physical setting, time or temporal setting. Then we have a psychological setting. And as for psychological setting, it refers to the state of mind of the characters. It refers to the emotional states of the characters. And if you go through Redemption Road, for example, you can see that the psychological setting of Redemption Road is trauma, post-war trauma. And you can see a lot of the characters find themselves in traumatic experiences. They find themselves experiencing trauma. So we have a physical setting, time or temporal setting, psychological setting, and then we also have social setting. So, and as for social setting, it refers to the norms and cultural background of the text. It refers to the norms and cultural background of the text. So you will read some literature text and you will find uh, some norms. Okay, Lonely Days by Adewale, for example. When you read this text, you come across some widowed rights, you come across FGM, that's female genital mutilation, and things like this. So these things like this form the social setting. Then in some text you find ostracization. So these things from social setting in the text. So then we have a historical setting. Well, we can somewhat go for historical setting on that time setting, only that historical setting is more specific than time setting. Historical setting refers to a particular period, a particular phase of history. So a particular phase of history in which the story is told. And Redemption Road is a good example of this. When we talk about the historical setting of Redemption Road, we can easily narrow it down to post-war Liberia. Post-war Liberia, you can easily narrow it down to it between 1999 to 2002. So this time the people were trying to reconcile with their war enemies and all that. They are trying to integrate into the society. That's from historical setting. So in other words, and you can have occupational setting too, occupational setting. So I'm talking about occupational setting, we mean the trades, the characters are involved in. So in Lonely Days by Adewale, the occupational setting is mostly farming. So a lot of characters are going to farming and all that. So these are some of the types of settings. We have a plethora of things depending on which one you need to go for. But in other words, a setting in literature is the time, place, and environment in which a story uh, is set, in which the event in a story, a poem, or play is set. So it answers the questions of when, which is time, when, where, where, and then of course under which circumstance, under which circumstance, circumstance, the story is set, events in the story is set. So I believe you now understand better what the setting is. Thank you.